Josh put the party together with all these amazing people, and it was just a kind of a snowball after that.
So, I mean, in what ways do you think that, having a graphic novel now and, seeing yourselves in comic book form is going to, perhaps open the band to an even bigger fan base than you already have?
Oh, yeah.
In comic book form, I'm ripped. And that was great, so that's good.
Yeah, we look really
We're going to get some fans
We're
there.
in good shape, yeah.
They should have written that one in.
Don't be surprised. And make us look a lot younger than we actually are, so maybe we'll get a younger audience.
No, I think it's amazing. We saw this a little bit yesterday during the signing. I mean, this is definitely our demographic that we end up seeing at our shows anyway, so it's kind of like great to see them in their natural habitat here versus coming to our show. And I don't know, it's like it's the same as in our business on stage as it is here. Everyone's kind of together and finding a space where we all can belong and be as weird as we want to. RJ blends in perfectly, finally, for the first time.
Yeah, the crowd here does remind us of our crowd at our live shows. Slightly more Pikachu costumes.
Yeah, only
Slightly.
slightly more, yeah.
Well, it's so funny because I'm used to talking to you guys from a musical perspective, so it's so awesome to flip the script. And I'm like, oh my God, they're at Comic-Con now. So it's definitely awesome.
This is great.
When you guys were getting ready to work on this, was there any art inspiration that you specifically wanted when you joined the Z2 team and you were like, this is what we want, this is the direction we want?
We kind of all started equally, just kind of throwing pieces of the puzzle in the pile, and just trying to see what we wanted to do. And
Josh just sent us a list of a bunch of artists, check out what these guys are doing. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. We really like these. I don't think that's the style, or we just started narrowing it down and talking to them.
yeah.
What's your favorite character from either comics or sci-fi fantasy growing up that you would say inspired you? If you were cosplaying as a character today in comics, what would it be?
We talked a lot about The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I grew up collecting Batman and X-Men. It was straight. I was in Wisconsin.
Classic.
Yeah. Batman comics, Nightfall. That got me way into it for a long time. I always loved the Venom comic books. They were awesome.
From what I understand, it correlates with the 10th anniversary of Mrs. Hyde, right?
Yeah, it does, and we didn't necessarily plan that.
Love when that works out.
Oh, yeah.
That works out because it's
It's
been that
when
long.
you get old.
that surprised us, and we're like, and then these people were like, "Oh, did you plan on that?" I'm like,
Yes.
yes. Wow, guys, can you believe that? Yeah.
Wait and see what happens on the 13th anniversary.
I always drink coffee when I watch Radar.
Did you have as much input into the story, how you wanted it to be unfolded?
Absolutely. We started with kind of a guideline of here's all of our videos. Here's thematically how we've gone through our records. We'll start there. And then with the Winter Twins, it was so funny because they'd just be texting us back and forth, like, hey, what about this? Oh, let me tell you that story.
I was talking to Brianna a bunch. They're awesome. They're the biggest sweethearts in the world. And so cool. And super cool. We were at the local bar one night having wings and beer. She's like, oh great, I'm gonna write that in. I was like, great. She's like, I see you play a lot of green guitars. She's like, yeah, green guitar is my kid when I was having. It's great. They're little sponges and sweethearts.
Yeah, we're going back and forth with. There's a section where it has littler RJ, and I'm like, hey, here's some pictures of RJ when he was little and with his long hair and his big sticks and all that.
Sticks,
He's like, okay.
Big Sticks made it in there.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun because there's, as you can tell, there's a lot of humor in what goes into us because that's who we are. And rock and roll with a smile and all that. And the scarier thing is that there's a little bit of truth in a lot of this story.
Yeah,
we're going through guys.
How did they know that?
Like that? And they're like,
how did they know I felt like that deep down inside?
Yeah, how did they know?
Yeah, it's exaggerated caricatures of just the normal stuff that we do on a daily basis.
I was like, wait, did that actually happen though? Send that in. Yeah.
I flushed myself down the toilet often.
Yeah. It's like, are they spying on us? What's going on?
You're hearing your internal monologue.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Are they psychic? I don't know.
I mean, what has it been like to look back on your entire career with this, right? what, like emotionally, it's been, you guys have had a long career, a big and successful career. What's that been like to look back on now?
It's I'm paraphrasing, but I keep going back to it's very similar to what Joe Walsh said in the history of the Eagles in the beginning, saying when you're in it, you know, everything's like complete chaos. Like, okay, you're calling people saying no, some people saying yes, okay, here's an opportunity, okay, that failed, that didn't work. You know, you're just kind of scrambling, and then when you look back, it looks like this finely crafted novel that was all meant to be. And like, that's, I know we've been having a lot of those conversations where it's like, yeah, I mean, we've been blinders on, go, go, go for so long, and we're looking back, we're like, wow, that could have gone so easily the other way. You know, we could have, you know, stayed in Pennsylvania and all just have normal lives. Or, you know, we could have never gotten signed. We could have never met Josh. We could have never met each other, you know.
We could have finished high school.
We could have. Hey, speak for yourself.
I think it's funny.
I found my diploma.
Or college or whatever.
I think it's funny that like I still feel the same as we did when we started, but now we have all these like stories and things that happen. But I don't feel old.
I mean, it
I've been doing
kind
it a
of.
long time.
It feels like forever, but it also kind of feels like it just flew. So it's a weird thing like that. Yeah.
So what was your reaction when you saw the finished product for the first time?
It was like, well, I was reading it like a bedtime story. It was like, and then, you know.
It's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's just cool, you know. Who'd thought?
I know.
They really captured who we are and how they sort of packaged our songs and our ideas all together. It's pretty wild.
It's actually it's kind of like the, you know, inspiration and art feeds art, and inspiration comes full circle, because we were talking, we spent 3 weeks in the studio a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about that, you and I.
It was at Hyde Manor.
Yeah, it was literally like we were all in a house together. Same thing. We're like, oh my God, we're like living out this, you know. So then it started like kind of like seeping its way into the songs. Like, maybe I should be looking at this graphic novel as like, this is the launch for the next album or something, because we found ourselves in the same. You know, RJ, remember you ordered wings the one night? Like, I was like, oh no, it's happening.
Really
you know?
late at night after like cutting group vocals, we're just like starving. Like, Wingstop's still open, perfect. You know?
Yeah, there's a very squeaky cabinet door, so if anybody needs midnight snacks, it sounds like someone's yelling for bloody murder. So we're literally in this haunted house, like making these new songs. We're like, oh my God, it's like, it's real life.
Yeah, it's
So,
crazy.
Yeah.
We're not ready to pass the ready to future.
Yes.
So,
Call the Winter Twins.
what can your fans expect in this new graphic novel? Any fun Easter eggs from performances or videos?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of truth into what happened in there, and that's what I love about the story, is that there is that humor, but with horror, and then also with heart and a smile. It's like just kind of like all of the little pieces that make up, you know, who we are to each other. And I don't know, for me personally, I laughed because I know a lot of this is true and it actually happened or is happening, and that is part of our personality. And you know, I cried when we were all like comrades and you're trying to help me out. I'm like, guys, wait, no, it's just a story. It's just a story. I love you guys. You know, I don't know. It moved me, so hopefully it does the same.
So we're here at Comic-Con, obviously the mecca of nerd culture. So what is something that you guys nerd out about in your spare time that we might be surprised to know?
Oh, surprised, you know. Okay, well, the musical nerdery is off the table then. You're easy.
I'm easy. I love cameras and guitars, and I go deep. Way too deep. Expensive hobbies.
Yeah. Man, surprised. It's getting harder and harder to surprise people now. They more surprise me with like, oh, hey, I found this. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even remember doing that, you know? I mean, besides, the only real nerdery that I have is for vocals. Like when I get with Amy Lee or Daughtry or any number of the amazing peers that I have, we talk for like 3 hours over that. But you guys most people know that.
Did
Obsession
that
with
note? Is that like your head voice?
yeah, stop it. This is why I don't discuss with you guys. Only with the other singers, we have a thing, okay?
Is that a vocal fry?
She's usually walking around like gauging her voice. So you're like,
Is that the whales?
Just throwing her
They're
right under the
communicating.
bus.
Now we know what the dolphins are saying.
I remember being on the bus the one time in Europe. You're like, you know what you do a lot? I'm like, what? It's like, you kind of hum like in the bus hall, like first thing in the morning. I'm like, really? Like I don't hear it anymore. And I'm like, oh, really? And then I realized, like, you're like, yeah. Like just subtly, like, please stop doing
oh no,
that.
I don't mind it. I know
You
you're
got her
doing.
face in Josh's mouth.
Yeah. But anyway, for geekery, I mean, I guess I have a small obsession with leather jackets. I don't know. There's a number of little things that I'm obsessed with.
There's a lot of leather here.
Also, finding
The weather.
I really like the solid shampoo conditioner bars. I found a whole box full of them while we were.
I think they have a booth here.
I have a problem for that. I can't find the right one, but I have a box full. Anyway,
Called
what
research.
are you nerdery about? Let's
know.
move on from here.
Yeah, I don't know. I like sports cars and I don't know, I like wine and
Yeah, I know wine. Yeah.
and I like,
He's our
This is not
wine
a
guy.
confessional.
and I do what else do I do?
10 Hail Marys. Get out.
Like cycling. I don't know.
You can be a nerd about anything.
Yeah, really.
Yes,
I
you
don't wanna go
can.
into
Yes,
it.
you can.
Yes, I really kind of want to check out the.
Oh, we know what you're nerd.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, perfumery is a big one for me, but there is a convention called Scent Explorer that I'd like to go to someday. I feel like you'd walk in, you'd be like, whoa! Just
Yeah.
a lot of headaches. But
Hazmat suit.
yeah,
You're
like, like
You're gonna
oxygen
have to be
tank.
quarantined.
You have to
after
bring
you
those
come
little
back from
oxygen
that.
cans. But I am really kind of curious. I am also a big lyric nerd, and
Okay.
like I'm a lyric person. Like I love lyrics, so I think that I'd like to explore the kind of like fantasy book section. Like my girl got me hooked on. She loves reading fantasy novels, like young adult, spicy fantasy novels. So as they call them on Book Talk. So I kind of want to explore that and stock up on some lyrical inspiration.
So you
just
got
'cause-
plenty of it here.
Yeah,
so you're
yeah.
good.
So I feel like or poetry and stuff, poetry books and stuff like that. So I kind of want to explore that if I have time today.
Nice.
Have you shared the graphic novel with some of your artist friends, and have they given you any input?
No, not yet, but we're planning on it. So.
Any expectations of teasing?
I did.
I've
Yeah.
gotten a lot of texts like, hey.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that just
Yeah,
want
here's a
more.
link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a link.
Here's the link.
Send me a book.
Send me a book.
They'll send one for you.
Yeah.
Only $29.95.
And they'll package it properly.
Yeah, but we plan on it. I don't know if we'll get much teasing. We,
If they're good friends, they'll make fun.
I can't
Yeah,
wait to see
actually,
what
that's
happens
true.
in the sequel. That's all I'm curious about. What's the sequel
I'm-
going to be about?
I'm hoping that it'll be cringy for some people and not for others. I think that's just kind of the way.
So
to be.
could that happen? Like,
Yeah.
is there a plan for more?
What do you
in
think?
it?
What do you
Walk
think,
out of that
Josh?
Fire, like,
Yeah.
changed.
Well, I'm wondering if we should do it with.
Green light.
Oh, yeah, he's on the phone right now. Yeah, yeah.
Already. See, we're on. It's already.
I personally would love it if they would go along with our discography. If we did Hyde Manor here, maybe something
Okay.
tied into wildlife for the next one, something
Oh,
into
or take tigers.
tied into vicious, maybe. I mean, there's.
I think that fire's gonna give us some superpowers. Personally.
Yeah, I am the fire.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh man.
There's fire in this one, so.
We could go deep with the superpowers. That'd be fun.
A lot of
apologize.
flammable things happen in the bunk hall.
We
I don't know.
apologize ahead of time to the Winter Twins for all of the
Dude, I'm
text
sure
that
about
you
to
can't
catch on
use.
fire once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can we put what sober
Origin
couldn't
story.
say in there?
Tour bus on fire.
Oh, God.
What's that?
gonna have to wrap this up in a minute. If anyone has any last questions.
So you mentioned recording. What is next for Halestorm coming up?
Another record.
Yeah, another record, new songs,
Same thing we always do.
new projects.
Pinky.
Yeah. Trying to take over the world.
Gee, Jeff, what are we gonna do tonight? New Halestorm record.
Do you
Narf.
think you're gonna incorporate maybe in your music videos or in your concerts, maybe your comics somehow?
I'm sure. I think that just by doing this, it didn't change our perspective, but it has helped kind of like narrow it into something
Or broaden
that has,
it, really.
Yeah, really broad. Yeah, or just kind of into more possibilities. I think that we're going to be thinking about our next music videos based on, okay, where do we launch off of this? What can we do? What can we use?
Yeah.
in the
An
future?
animation?
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
that'd be sick.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, right.
It's an
Who's gonna
anime.
voice me?
Oh my goodness.
And you want to say to fans of New York?
We got one. We got a voice in.
Thank you so much for accepting us to our first Comic-Con.
Everyone's been so friendly.
Everyone's been so awesome. Thank you so much for all the explanations of costumes, because I'm like, I love your outfit. They're like, well, by the way, this is what I am. Duh. Thank you for the education.
Gotta give a shout out to all my links out there, all my Zeldas. Love you too.
Did you guys, were you able to explore a little bit of the comic book?
I haven't really.
Yeah, not really yet.
Yeah.
We want to kind of
We'll
Down to
we'll
math.
jump
have a
in
little space
with
here
both
today.
feet
Yeah.
today. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thank you.